Loan and Jewelry. Joining us here this morning, we are doing our own little version of the Antique Roadshow here, David. Are you excited?
I am a little fired up this morning, I have to tell you. I am ready.
I am so glad. Well, let's start, first of all, everybody at home, if you haven't seen David here before, he loans on items, and he also purchases items. And if you're ever wondering what it's worth, we have a whole studio audience in here today. But you don't work alone. You have a nice team that you work with.
We have a wonderful team, and I'm only as good as my team. And I do want to give a quick introduction to three of my main team members, to Jesse, to Brenda, and Aaron. These are this is a big part of my staff, and they do a lot of this research to try to get that information to the people as promptly as possible, and that's what it's about.
And that's what we always ask you at home to do. If you have something you're wondering what it's worth, send it in, send a photo in, send the information to David, and he'll get back to you, and one of his team members will as well. So we brought in our audience today, and let's start with this item right here. Take a look at this particular, it is a, what is it exactly?
This would be called mixed media art. It's done in a ceramic. And Patricia was kind enough to bring that in for us. Thank you so much. What I was really fascinated by it because it's interesting.
Well, let me introduce Patricia first of all. And Patricia, what is your last name?
Putnam.
And where are you from?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Now tell us how you obtained this print.
Well, that's quite a little story. This was donated to my church maybe 20-some years ago, and it changed hands to another pastor, and they found this up in a storage room. Been in storage for 20-some years.
For 20-something years.
Yeah.
All right. So you sent a photo of it, and to David, you've been looking at this print, and what do you see? What do you know so far?
You know, this is done by an artist called Sunar Alvar, and he was born in the 1930s. He was a Spanish artist who did a lot of mixed media. He did some paintings, but mixed media was really what he was known for. And what I really found interesting about it is this is probably a 60-year-old piece of art. But interestingly enough, it's as in fashion and style as it was 50 years ago.
It's gorgeous and it's unique. And what is the value of it, David?
The value of this will range anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000, and it doesn't have a actual market value, but it has a beauty value, an intrinsic value that someone's going to look at it and say, I really like this. And that's what I find interesting about it, because a lot of things don't get that high that are just considered, you know, what we call decor.
Are you surprised about that, Patricia? The value of that?
Not really.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate your honesty.
Yes, that's okay. That's okay.
I've been checking on it.
Really?
Yeah.
So you kind of did your own research, which David
yes.
always encourages you at home to do.
Yes.
And is it something that maybe the church wants to sell?
Yes, they wanted to sell it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go. There's a possibility right there. Thank you so much, Patricia.
You're welcome.
Thank you for bringing your item on. I'll have you step over there. And let's bring our next gal on. Come around this way for me, darling. And what is your name?
Kristen Moros.
Kristen Moros. And Kristen, what did you bring?
I brought a pocket watch from what I believe is the early 1900s, was my great-great-uncle John's, and though I'm into sparkly and blingy jewelry, it's not quite sparkly and blingy, but it has a lot of family value to it, and I wanted to see what it was worth.
And how long have you had it in your family, do you think?
We think since early 1900s, but we're not sure. So,
right.
great-great-uncle, if we go back and look at when he was born, early 1900s.
So, David, you've been checking it out. What do you think?
We took a look at this, and you know, what I told Kristen, what I found really interesting about this is the fact that there isn't probably anybody that doesn't have a pocket watch that's been handed down in the family. Many of them are not gold. This one is gold. I think your timing is about right. I think it's more 1920s, 30s. The value on this is about $300 to $500, and the real reason is because pocket watches haven't made a comeback in use.
Yep.
But very interesting, a great heirloom, and still has its gold and intrinsic value.
What do you think about that?
I've been practicing my Antique Roadshow face. I'm excited.
Wait, we didn't
Well
catch that. Can you
done.
do it again? Good one. Good one. So would you sell, though? I mean, it's been in your... Okay.
We
but
keep
you
it
just
in the
want to
family.
know.
Absolutely.
You just want to know what
Absolutely.
it's awesome. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
bringing
much.
your item on. Okay, so we have more audience members joining us throughout this morning. Stick with us. This is so fascinating as we
Thanks.
learn about, you know, what people have and really what it's worth to them and really what it's worth to you, David, and the market. Biltmore Loan and Jewelry. You can send your pictures and any information you have at info at biltmoreloan.com. David or his team will check it out. 480-991 Loan in Scottsdale, 480-705 Loan, their new location in Chandler, biltmoreloan.com, and like them on Facebook/Biltmore Loan. More interesting stuff to come, Susan.
Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. We can't wait to see what everybody has today. Well,